Beyond the roar of the alpha and the relentless struggle for dominance, a different story unfolds. A pod of dolphins forms a protective circle, not for their own young, but for a group of swimmers threatened by a shark. A lioness, the very symbol of predatory might, gently licks and tends to a wounded fox. These instances, often dismissed as anomalies, whisper a profound truth against the clamor of survival of the fittest. Here, in the quiet corners of the animal kingdom, compassion flourishes in the most unexpected of hearts. In the vast, interconnected web of life, the lines we draw between species sometimes blur into gestures of pure, unprompted aid. It is a world where a massive humpback whale might deliberately place its body between a pod of orcas and a lone seal, escorting the smaller creature to the safety of a nearby's flow. These are not isolated incidents, but a recurring theme of interspecies altruism that defies simple explanation. We see it in the benevolent shadow of a bear that pulls a drowning crow from the water, or the patient vigilance of a baboon that adopts and cares for a lost puppy. These acts challenge our understanding of instinct, suggesting a capacity for empathy that transcends the boundaries of kind. They are powerful reminders that the wild is not just an arena of conflict, but also a theater of surprising and selfless alliances, where help can come from the most unlikely of saviors. Even more startling are the moments when the fundamental script of nature, the chase between predator and prey, is rewritten by an inexplicable act of mercy. A leopard, having cornered a baby baboon, does not deliver the final, fatal blow. Instead, it cradles the terrified infant, offering a strange and gentle comfort against the cold night. A powerful tigress discovers a litter of orphaned piglets and, rather than seeing them as an easy meal, begins to nurse and protect them as if they were her own cubs. These behaviors disrupt our most basic assumptions about the natural order. They are not transactions or miscalculations. They are profound expressions of a deeper impulse, a flicker of compassion that can momentarily override the ingrained drive to hunt. In these fleeting truces, we witness a stunning paradox. The predator, for a moment, becomes a guardian, revealing a complexity of emotion that we are only just beginning to comprehend. The wild is not merely red in tooth and claw, it is also capable of a tenderness that can hold the chase and silence the roar. This instinct for care is not limited to dramatic rescues or interspecies anomalies. It is woven deeply into the fabric of animal societies. Within the herd, the flock, and the pod, the concept of family often extends far beyond direct bloodlines. An elephant matriarch, upon sensing the distress of an orphan calf from another family, will seamlessly adopt it into her own, providing milk, protection, and guidance without a moment's hesitation. High in the treetops, a community of birds might collectively feed the chicks of a fallen nest, ensuring the survival of the next generation regardless of parentage. These communal nurseries, built on a foundation of shared responsibility, demonstrate a powerful truth: the strength of the group relies on the well-being of its most vulnerable members. This is not charity. It is a sophisticated survival strategy, a social contract written into their very being. The community itself becomes the parent, a collective force of nurture and protection that ensures the legacy of the species endures. In the face of imminent danger, the animal kingdom often reveals its most heroic and coordinated efforts. A lone monkey spots a stalking python ant. Instead of quietly slipping away to save itself, unleashes a torrent of alarm calls, a deliberate act of self-exposure to warn the entire troop. It is a calculated risk, placing the individual in peril for the good of the many. We see this impulse for rescue echo across ecosystems, from the depths of the ocean to the highest mountain peaks. When a fellow whale becomes entangled in fishing nets, its pod will refuse to abandon it, working for hours, sometimes days, nudging and pushing in a desperate attempt to free their companion. These are not blind, instinctual reactions. They are intelligent, coordinated responses to distress. They reveal a profound awareness of another's suffering and a powerful, instinctual drive to intervene, even at great personal cost. This is the essence of true support, a silent promise that in this vast, unpredictable world, no one is truly left to struggle alone. Perhaps the most poignant evidence of this emotional depth lies in how animals confront loss. The concept of grief, once thought to be a uniquely human experience, is now undeniably visible in the wild. An elephant herd will stand in silent vigil for days round the remains of a fallen member, gently touching the bones with their trunks in a solemn, ritualistic farewell. Dolphins have been observed carrying the body of a deceased calf for weeks, refusing to let go, their sorrow palpable in their weary movements. These are not mere curiosities, they are profound expressions of deep social bonds and an emotional capacity to mourn. This sympathy extends beyond death to active emotional support. When one member of a primate troop is injured or distressed, others will gather round, grooming and comforting it, offering a quiet presence that soothes and reassures. These acts of empathy and mourning reveal a rich inner world, a landscape of feeling where connection and loss are felt with an intensity that mirrors our own. The narrative of nature has long been dominated by the spectacle of competition, the fight for resources, territory, and mates. Yet, woven throughout this epic struggle is a quieter, but equally powerful, thread of cooperation. Kindness is not an evolutionary flaw. It is a sophisticated tool for survival. A flock of birds that shares information about food sources is more resilient than one where every individual forges ahead alone. A wolf pack that cares for its injured members maintains the strength and knowledge of the entire group. In these collaborative systems, altruism becomes a strategic advantage. The act of helping another is not a sacrifice, but an investment in the collective welfare, a recognition that the survival of the individual is inextricably linked to the survival of the group. This cooperative spirit demonstrates that strength is not always found in aggression or dominance, but in the intricate, supportive bonds that turn a collection of individuals into a thriving, resilient community. Nature, it seems, has long understood a lesson we are still struggling to learn. We are stronger together than we are apart. As we peer into these hidden moments of compassion, we are forced to re-examine our own place in the world. The gentle elephant, the rescuing dolphin, the merciful predator, they hold up a mirror to our own capacity for empathy. These acts of kindness in the wild are not just heartwarming stories. They are profound lessons in what it means to be alive and interconnected. They challenge our narrow definition of strength, revealing that true power lies not in dominance, but in the ability to care, to cooperate, and to connect. Here, in the unscripted dramas of the natural world, we discover that the impulse for compassion is a universal language, a force as fundamental and as vital as the instinct to survive.